Hey, you're listening to Rising into Mindful Motherhood. I'm your host, Dr. Katie Wood. I'm a barefoot mama bear, pharmacist, integrative fertility health coach, and lover of all things nature and animals. I'm on a mission to have intentional conversations about the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to fertility, pregnancy, postpartum, and beyond. My mindful guests and I will be talking about struggles, wins, natural wellness, and how we grow and transform as we enter motherhood. My background in healthcare has shown me how broken our medical system is. My own struggles to become pregnant has shown the lack of support for mamas to be, the lack of guidance for women to have a nourishing and vibrant pregnancy, the isolation, mom guilt, and all the things we hold after bringing baby earthside. I want this platform to be a place where women can feel connected, safe, and supported to share and hear their stories. A place to use our voice to discuss and advocate about what we need and deserve as mothers. So let's dive in, shall we? Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. I'm really excited for this IG Live. It's actually my first one I've ever done with somebody else. So for effort to really kind of knocking that out. And I'm just excited to talk about, the feminine self-healing and just, I have been following you for a while and I really, really love how you support women and just the things that you share. So I'm really excited to just dive in with you.
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Stesha. I started in this world as a fertility coach, and like many women, like many practitioners who get into this space, it was my own healing journey that really led me to be so passionate about going deep, 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 deep into what is fertility on an energy and emotional level. And what I found and what I experienced here really felt like truth for me. And I just knew that I needed to share this message. Like this was my purpose. This was not only about helping women get pregnant or seeing that positive pregnancy test, but it was so much more. It was about becoming the woman that they wanted to be, becoming the kind of mother that they wanted to be, and healing ancestral, generational wounds, patterns, and it's just this work just reaches so far and so deep that it has now become my mission to really help practitioners and coaches and women even aspiring to be in this world, in this profession, become not only knowledgeable about this kind of work, but very much embodied in who they are as again, not only a healing modality, but just a way of being and a way of living. So I'm excited to talk about all of those things today.
Yeah. And if you think about it, it's just creating such a wider ripple effect because you're only one person. You can only help so many women on their journey to motherhood. So by working with other fertility practitioners, anyone who really supports women in any way, and then all the lives that they're going to affect and touch and impact, like it really is beautiful. So I just appreciate you being here and just sharing your passion and just your brilliance as well. So I'd love to just really dive right in and have you talk about like what is womb trauma. So I feel like trauma is really being talked a lot about right now. And I think even for myself a couple years ago, I thought I don't have trauma, because we think of trauma being like really, really big life occurrences that we go through. But then when you kind of tack on like womb trauma, then I feel like people might be like, what is that? Like, I have no idea what that is. So
Yeah.
I would really love to talk about that and why it's so important for women to work on, especially during that preconception phase, like before gestation even happens.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I'll start with where a lot of people are familiar with trauma. And you're so right. It's so easy to write this off for a number of reasons. We think of big T trauma as some big thing that's happened and it's completely, weighed us down our entire lives. And It's our identity. And most of us are walking around with little t trauma. And I hate even deciphering those things because it really does feel all of the same within the body, within the subconscious. But you know, these little things of when we're raised by our parents who are, you know, on a range of woundedness themselves, doing the absolute best that they can, will continue to project their own wounding onto their children, mostly unconsciously. And it's the little things like, you know, getting really excited and happy and giving a lot of attention to the child who gets the straight A test, versus, oh, you need to be more like your sister. Like, why can't you just be like that? And it's like these little things that really ingrain into our subconscious from the ages of 0 to 8 when we're very, very prone to programming. And then these things stick with us as our stories. They show up as patterns in relationships. They show up as patterns in order to get our needs met. And therefore, we're living a life from our trauma wounds. And so healing trauma is very much addressing, and this can happen in a multitude of ways, right? We can go directly in and address the emotion that we have trapped up and almost stuck into, you know, whatever emotional frequency that is congruent, that resonates with whatever organ system. That might be a conversation for another day, but it gets stuck in our body and held there for our own benefit. So that when we are ready, when we have the support, when we have the resources, when we're emotionally intelligently ready to actually access that, open it up and feel through that wisdom, that's when it will come up into our life. So healing trauma is such an empowering way to reclaim your self, capital S self, and your wholeness. The way that I see trauma is it's here for you. It's absolutely here for you. And that's really hard to understand at first because it feels like this big thing that we don't want to go in. We don't want to feel. We're terrified of what we might find. An example of, you know, my story with my mother, I actually knew that there was a lot of wounding there. There was a lot of pain. You know, anyone that has kind of a friction between their mother-daughter relationship knows this. Like, oh, it's just so painful. Like, I'd rather just say, oh yeah, she did the best I could. I turned out fine. And we don't need to even look at that. And it's one thing to go to therapy and talk about how all of these things have affected us and bring awareness to it. It's completely different level when you actually feel into the body where these emotions, this pain between the relationship is actually felt and held, and then you feel through that and you alchemize that pain into compassion, into love, into your power, into your self-worth, whatever it may be. And we can talk about the alchemy process later. But taking it to the womb, right? Our womb has its own emotional consciousness as well, just like the liver does, just like the heart, just like the solar plexus, the throat. And so our womb is really, really special because it holds the blueprint of our sexual energy, right? The blueprint of our feminine energy as well as our masculine energy. And we hold not only the wisdom and the sacredness, so almost like the sacred blueprint of like the feminine blueprint, like this is how feminine energy feels, this is what it should look like, here's the blueprint of that. We also hold the wounding that we've accumulated from the feminine and masculine energy as well. And you know, if you're new to this world and really, well, what is masculine and feminine energy? It's not gender specific. We all have feminine and masculine energy. And we all have, you know, this specific ratio. We all have this range of, you know, wounded, unconscious wounding to, you know, how healed and whole we are within these energies. And our womb holds that. Now, what's really important to understand is that accessing our womb is typically almost impossible for most of us to just go there and access it, right? To just, oh, let me tap into and connect into my womb space. Why? Because as women, we hold the most amount of trauma within our womb space. And the thing to know about trauma is that our subconscious is blocking it and blocking it from our conscious mind for a reason, right? Because we don't feel safe yet. We don't have the tools yet. We might not even have the awareness yet that that's what's going on. And yet our womb space is this hologram, this mirror to our self-worth. It holds the codes to our self-worth. Every relationship, right? So codependent relationship, maybe being stuck in the same pattern within an intimate relationship. And also, you know, how we feel about our sexual energy and expression, our fertility. There's so much held here. There's so much information held here within the womb space, and we're walking around and completely unconscious to it, and it's controlling our our entire lives.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, womb trauma is the emotional trauma that's held within this energetic blueprint, this space within your womb. And so, again, if you're new to this work, it can feel very esoteric of how is this real? How can this be proven? And that's just it. You know, we're going into a world where it's only through experience that you're going to have this like tangible description of what I'm talking about. And you're going to be able to nod your head of like, oh yeah, I know exactly what she's talking about. And that's why experiencing womb healing is just paramount to really understanding this work and everything that is here for you in your fertility journey, and as a mom. So that's just kind of the tip of the iceberg of what womb trauma is and the womb space. And I don't know if you want to go deeper or
Yeah, no,
there.
yeah, I love, and I have learned so much about all of these things over the last couple years myself. And it was very confusing for me, like feminine energy, masculine, like how do you have both? But then as I kind of like dove deeper into them, it's like, wow, I was really in my like disempowered masculine, especially when I was trying to get pregnant, because it was like force and control and gotta make it happen. You know, gotta so used to, you know, being able to achieve and get the results that you want.
Yeah.
And then it's like when you can't control the timing and you can't make it happen, it's so frustrating. And I feel like if you either don't have the awareness or like the outside support kind of that can look in, you can dive deeper into that like disempowered masculine. And I feel like that's what happened to me.
Oh, I would love to speak to that. Yeah, I think that that kind of archetype of the wounded masculine tends to show up so strongly within a woman's fertility journey. You know, especially as a coach and a practitioner, these are the women that are out there looking for the solution to fix. So it, you know, in my world, it's just kind of like heightened that this is kind of the biggest wound going on. So many women think that they're in too much in their masculine energy, but really what's happening is that they don't have that sacred masculine foundation of stability, groundedness, trust, right, within yourself. Like I always, you know, the masculine energy is that feeling. It's like you come home from a hard day and your partner is just like, you know what, like, let me draw you a bath. Let me cook you some dinner. Like, you just go rest and relax. Like, I've got this. You're incredible. I love you. Like, you're going to kill it tomorrow. Like, it's just that feeling of being held and taken care of. Like, that's the safe, secure, stable masculine energy. And you can see within a fertility journey, like, we're not accessing that. It's the opposite. It's, I'm very insecure all of a sudden. I'm very shooken up. Nervous system dysregulated, gotta grasp, gotta find the answer, gotta force, gotta push. I don't trust that, you know, I have the, you know, deep down, I have the ability to do this, and I want to make sure I can control everything that I can in order to make it happen. And, you know, it's such a hard place to be because it's very emotionally up and down. We have these spurts of like dopamine hit. I'm going to hire everything. I'm going to buy all of the supplements. I'm going to get all the tests. Like, we're going to do this. This is going to work. I have it all planned out perfectly. And then when it doesn't happen in the right time that we planned it, then it all comes crashing down, right? That, oh my gosh, can I really do that? It's like not, it's the fear of not being totally in your feminine. It's like the suppressed feminine, and these two go together, because if you don't have that safe, secure masculine, your feminine cannot open and receive.
Mm-hmm.
The analogy I use is, climbing to the top of a rope, and your feminine's like, all right, I'm going to trust because my intuition says, like, I'm ready to let go. Let's let go. And we let go, but there's no masculine down here to catch us. And so we hit the ground and we get traumatized. See, I told you I can't trust myself. See, like, I told you I have to, control everything. That stuff doesn't work for me. So that's why, we have women who are wanting to step deeper into their feminine energy, but they haven't done that work to build up their masculine.
Mm-hmm.
And, building up your masculine, what does that mean? We do this through the womb space, because we hold energetic imprints of wounded masculine within our womb, because we receive it through the sexual energy of our male partners. We also receive it from our father, because his sexual energy is within our mother's womb, and we were gestated there. So you can see how we have, masculine energy that's influencing us. And a lot of times it's coming from this very unconscious, wounded place, even though we had incredible fathers, or, for what we know, we've had incredible sexual relationships. A lot of times it's unconscious, right? Because our guys are very wounded as well within the wounded masculine and wounded feminine.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just the women, right? Patriarchy, this, societal wounded masculine, wounded feminine construct is not serving anyone, right? We have men very much forcing, pushing, needing to control, power, disrespect of the feminine, and just little things like, expecting the woman to be the mom and to look perfect. We do that to ourselves, but our men tend to do that too, just subconsciously, right? We don't even question it. It's a program. So yeah, it's a beautiful opportunity in a fertility journey to go, ooh, how am I showing up here?
Mm-hmm.
Because fertility is ultimately a feminine energy expression. It's a feminine energy expression. It's creativity. And so feminine energy consists of intuition, consists of emotional alchemy, it consists of creativity. Those are kind of the three big ones. And creativity is fertility. And so many women are disconnected from their womb, disconnected from the source of their power of creative power.
Mm-hmm.
And so we wonder, why is fertility, not happening for me? Well, if we're so in our wounded masculine that we can't even access our feminine, can't access our fertility. And this is happening on various ranges. It's not every single woman in her wounded masculine can't get pregnant, but what we're seeing is that it's a lot harder too. And also we're bringing a lot of that wounded masculine energy into our fertility journey. Mm-hmm. So that's a little bit background of maybe what you were experiencing. And, I know you've done so much healing within this yourself. But for women that are noticing that kind of pattern within their fertility journey, womb healing would be a great place to start looking.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And what would you say are the most common womb traumas that you see?
What are some new, fun, and exciting ways I can serve these women who are wanting to have a child and become a mother and just step into that next version of themselves? And I am going to be releasing in early September a brand new Confident Conception membership. And I want to be able to serve and impact as many women as possible with this membership. That is my true intention from my heart. I do not want any woman who desires, needs, or wants more holistic integrative, natural guidance and support along their fertility journey, because I know that this piece is heavily lacking in the Western conventional space. So if you desire that for yourself, that is why I've created this membership, because you should not have to be limited to the help and guidance and support that you receive. This membership is at an incredible investment level, and the value it's amazing. So just to kind of give you a little sneak peek, I'm not revealing the true details until early September, but you are going to have access in this membership, the method that I use and have used with my one-on-one clients, with my group coaching clients, you name it. And this framework, this method has been able to get women pregnant when they were otherwise told they could not get pregnant naturally and that they needed IUI and IVF. So I have a wait list for this beautiful membership that I will be launching soon. And if this interests you even a little bit, even if you're just curious, like you're still not sure if this is right for you, if this is what you need, that's totally fine. I would get yourself on this membership waitlist, because anyone who is on the waitlist is going to be the first to know when the membership launches. You will know before anyone on my email list, on my Instagram, Facebook, anywhere on social media. Anyone who's on this waitlist will be the absolute first to know, and you will be the first and only to have access to a very exclusive founder's rate for signing up for the membership. So you're definitely going to want to be on the waitlist for this, because like I had said, it is an investment level that can serve everyone, because that is my goal. That is my dream. That is my passion. That is why I am here on this earth. So this is what my heart, my mind has birthed, really, as a way to support and impact more women, more couples, more families. Because at the end of the day, that's why I do this. I do this to help you realize your dream of becoming a mother, your dream of holding your child, whether it's your first child, your second, third, fourth, and beyond.
Yeah, I would say, so ultimately it's this umbrella of either fear of creativity, and I'll kind of break down what that looks like to make it tangible, because it's like, what, fear of creativity? Why would I be afraid of creativity? And then there's also, so let's just start there actually. So creativity, if you really look within the womb space, right, we have the uterus, the womb, we also have the ovaries in terms of the physical manifestation of our womb space. Our ovaries, if you think about it, hold our creative potential. And every month it's releasing our creative ideas out into the world. Mm-hmm. How many women are terrified of creative expression, of expressing themselves, of even just sitting down and playing with creativity, right? So many believe that I have to be an artist or a dancer to be creative, and that's just not true. We can express our creativity in so many different ways: decorating our house, makeup, hair, dressing ourselves, and also to artwork. And basically, there's this fear of, well, what will happen if I put my creative ideas out into the world? Fear of judgment, fear of rejection. And this was very much me. Actually, came from a very wounded masculine upbringing, and actually started my career as a chemical engineer. Mm-hmm. And through college, through my career, it was always work, do, very much in the wounded masculine. There was no time for rest. There was no value in rest. There was no value in creativity. There was no value in space unless I was burnt out. When I was burnt out, when I was frustrated, then I made time of like, oh, maybe I just kind of want to draw a picture or like color a picture or go walk in nature or go for a hike, almost to rejuvenate myself. But like that was the only time that I felt safe to create. You don't feel safe to lean back and create space and create when you've always got to go, do, because your self-worth is completely wrapped up in that.
Mm-hmm.
So this can result in ovarian issues. PCOS is a big one. Ovarian cysts, where we're really suppressing ovulation. We're suppressing the release of that creative expression. In different avenues of that, but that's kind of the main taste of what's going on energetically for PCOS.
Mm-hmm.
The other one that I see so common is within the womb, within the uterus itself. And this has more to do with the emotions of anger and resentment towards the masculine. So we see this a lot in women who are actually holding on to a lot of sexual trauma, where they've been violated, rape and sexual violence being kind of the biggest one here. But this doesn't even need to happen in your personal life. This could have happened within your mother, within your maternal ancestral line.
Mm-hmm.
This is a big one, because women can go, well, that didn't really happen to me. And first of all, when we get into the healing sessions, sometimes we find that, oh, actually a little bit of this did kind of happen. But again, my subconscious was shutting it down. And we safely open that up and process it. But a lot of times what we'll find is, oh my gosh, that memory was of my mother when she was a child. And so, yeah, or it's this, faceless person, but we know it's one of our ancestors, right? And now we're doing the healing and processing for her. You might think, how is that possible? This seems pretty out there. But we're actually physically and energetically connected from our wombs all the way through our maternal ancestral line. Think of a Russian nesting doll, right? My ovaries and my womb was developed within my mother when she was pregnant, right? And my eggs were actually forming within her when she was in her mother. And so we have this transmission of not only wounds, but wisdom as well.
Mm-hmm.
But so we can accumulate these wounds all the way down the maternal line, which again is why accessing the womb is so incredibly powerful, because we can access those things and heal those things. So this results in endometriosis a lot, or very, very irregular periods in terms of very heavy, high estrogen. And what, I really looked into this, because I have not personally experienced endometriosis, but so many women have been drawn to me and my coaching programs, especially Awakened Womb, to address endometriosis, because it is one of those symptoms that really takes it out of us. It really disrupts our life. It's very painful. It can just affect, sometimes 2, even 3 weeks out of the month for a lot of women, in terms of just like agonizing pain where it's really disrupting our life. So, and affecting our fertility as well. Mm-hmm. So that's usually how that manifests physically within the womb. And these two things are really affecting fertility, right? For obvious reasons. If we're not ovulating, if our endometrium is really angry, the cells are really angry and inflammatory, there's going to be a problem with implantation and other things as well. So those would be the biggest things.
Yeah. And I think there's even been, studies or articles that do say like women that have endometriosis tend to have trauma So what you're speaking to is definitely true. Like there are things that I have found in doing my own research that has been something that has been found, like when they maybe do like ask questions at the doctor's office or like a questionnaire or something like that. So one like kind of side question I have, and I'd love to hear your thoughts, is hormonal birth control. So like a lot of these things that we're talking about, trauma, suppression of creativity, but I personally feel from my own experience, I was on birth control for 13 years consecutively right before we started trying. And looking back on my journey, it's like, wow, I feel like I have been able to be like, use my voice a lot more, really tap back into that creativity that I had when I was younger before being on the birth control. So it's almost like it just completely silenced it. We know that birth control can shrink our ovaries, so thus shrinking or silencing that creativity. So I know that so many women are pushed on birth control for various reasons, but yeah, I don't know if you have anything to share on that.
Yeah, it's, I've heard terms, chemical castration, terms like, it's just like, oh, whoa, what's going on? And I mean, essentially that's what's going on. We basically suppress our feminine energy. When you suppress the natural production of hormones that's happening within the ovaries. I mean, your ovaries are responsible for that beautiful cyclical hormonal pattern. And we're shutting that potential creative energy down. We're shutting the feminine energy and expression down. And so things like, ability to really access your intuition, right? Your deep knowing to like what's right and what's wrong for me. I've seen that really get shut down for a lot of women. And this is where we're starting to look outside of ourselves of what should I do and what's the right thing. And I don't have access to that internal compass of who I am and what's meant for me when there's so many problems with that, right? Then what I've noticed too is an inability to really be with our emotions. And this is very interesting. And this is just from my personal experience. I actually haven't looked into this or contemplated it much, but it's why do so many women experience anxiety and depression on birth control as well? And one could say, oh, it's the estrogen, it's the imbalance of hormones, and yes, yes, yes. But again, when we shut down our feminine energy, a big component of our feminine energy is this ability to feel and release and alchemize emotions. And when we don't have that superpower within us, we start to make emotions mean something about us, right? So when we have the hard day or when we do feel overwhelmed because again, we don't know who we are, and that really starts to accumulate within the mind, right? It's like, oh, I'm feeling sad all of the time. I'm a sad person. There must be something wrong with me. I just feel like doing anything, and it compounds. And then again, with the creativity, not only are we suppressing our fertile creativity, but also our desire to express ourselves creative in all areas. This can look like, for me personally, it was like, I didn't have an opinion about anything, and I didn't have like, oh, what's your style? I don't know. I really have a style. Like you looked at my house and I couldn't really decorate my house. Like I just had no sense of who I was, an outward expression of that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think birth control is working on not only the physical level, but also the emotional and energetic level as well, which is kind of scary.
Yeah. It really does. And it's just pushed, for so many things. So you have PCOS, let's regulate your cycles with birth control and just kind of add on to that toll and all of those things. So why is treating the symptom not the same as healing the root cause at the energetic level?
Yeah. Yeah. I love this idea of, healing the root cause. When I first found almost like a religion, when I first found functional medicine, my eyes were just like, oh my God, this is everything. Like, this is how we heal the world. We just got to get to the root cause on the physical level. It just made so much sense. And I really committed myself to a good 5 or 6 years within this space of functional nutrition and functional testing and getting to the root cause. And there's just so much truth to this. And it's such an incredible paradigm shift. And I think it's really helped a lot of women feel empowered around understanding their bodies. But we want to take it to the next level. We want to take it to the next level because our physical bodies are actually just a mirror, almost like a hologram, a representation of what is happening within our energetic blueprint. This is a paradigm shift when we start understanding that it's not just on the physical level and we treat the physical with physical, but we're actually a denser vibration of energy that originates from an energetic blueprint that you can almost just picture your aura, right, around you, and it condenses into your physical self. And if there are distortions within your energetic field, these are going to show up as physical signs and symptoms within your physical body. Tension, right, symptoms within your womb. Even, if we ignore them long enough, or, we just don't have the awareness or tools to understand what's really going on, it can also start to show up as dis-ease, right? Where, okay, now we're looking at Western medicine to label and categorize these physical symptoms to get you the physical treatment. And it's a really disempowering place because you're relying on a doctor to tell you what's wrong with you, to provide you with the solution, and you're stuck in a corner with, like, this is the only solution you have. And so many women are exiting this matrix. They're wanting something so much deeper. They know that this isn't the only answer. They know that more is possible, but a lot of times they get stuck within that same paradigm of thinking of, oh, let me just find the thing to fix it. But now we're looking at functional testing and what's the right probiotic, and let me do a liver detox, and, oh, my methylation gene is, heterozygous, and now I need to take supplementation here. And so we're still coming from that same paradigm, old paradigm of, I need something outside of me to fix myself. And once I fix it, then I'll be good. Then I can get what I want. Then I'll be fertile. Then I can have the baby, the motherhood, etc. So again, it's just this, chasing the next thing to fix my broken body. And within the new paradigm, making that shift is understanding that these physical symptoms aren't actually my broken body. These symptoms actually have meaning. These symptoms are something originating deeper, drawing my attention to this area, wanting me to witness, wanting me to feel, wanting me to heal, wanting me to process what's going on, instead of go, gross, I need a pill, let me go fix it, so then I don't have to deal with it anymore. And when we move from just like an intellectual understanding, right, when most women hear this, like, oh, this makes so much sense, yeah, I've got to get to the real root cause, I've got to, heal the emotional component of endometriosis, like, I get it. But what that actually requires is, again, that old flipping from the old paradigm to the new paradigm of, I'm actually the creator of my reality, that this is here for me. Do I have the courage to create space to really hear what's going on within my womb, to really hear what she needs? Because a lot of times what she needs is reclamation of the feminine, healing of the masculine, which is going to look like letting go, which is going to look like trust, which is going to look like clearing out all of the things on my calendar and in my life that no longer serve me and come back to me. A lot of women will start there, right? What's the thing I have to do to let go? What's the thing I have to do to create space? What's the thing I have to do to heal? And again, we're getting in this masculine doing. But when you heal within the womb, you're healing these deep imbalances within a meditation within a healing practice. And then as a result, you trust. As a result, you're able to let go. As a result, you desire space and alignment in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So healing the root cause, the real root cause on the energy level, results in all of the external healing and the external changing of who you are, of your relationships, of your fertility, of your physical health. So often, though, we're trying to play whack-a-mole on, even in our relationships, right? Let me have the hard talk to fix this relationship versus let me look within and heal like this deep ancestral wound that's keeping me stuck in this codependent relationship. And then I show up differently to this relationship and we can find peace. We can find reclamation. So the difference there is I'm out there playing whack-a-mole trying to fix everything on the physical level versus let me look inward and heal what's really going on, this energetic distortion within.
Mm-hmm.
And not only, what is healing? It's wholeness. It's bringing wholeness back within your body, wholeness within your relationships, wholeness within your self-worth, wholeness within your fertility. And that only happens when we heal within, when we heal the root cause from within, not all of the doing. And that's why you would see too, let me get the surgery to remove the endometriosis. Why is it coming back in 3 years?
Mm-hmm.
It's because that energetic blueprint, it's just physically manifesting what's still there. So when you get to the real root cause, you heal within the energetic field. And this is why, within my awakened womb, I have a really powerful womb healing meditation for endometriosis specifically. And the women who experience these sessions, 20, 30-minute sessions, will come out on the other side saying, I just experienced my first ever regular, pain-free menstrual cycle.
Mm-hmm.
That is what I would label a spontaneous remission when we've been struggling with something like this for 30 years.
Yeah.
And we've all of a sudden had our first ever pain-free menstrual cycle. What the heck's happening here? Right? When after they've tried everything, they've had the surgery, they've done this, they've done the IVF, they're taking pain pills just to get through their life, and now we're experiencing complete remission.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just the power of how quickly these things can happen. But also too, a lot of times there's layers.
Yeah.
There's layers to healing. It's not always just about, oh, I did a session and I'm healed. Yay, let's go fix the next thing.
Yeah.
It's no, this is a journey. It's just this deep spiral of, ooh, okay, now my womb is speaking to me in this way. Okay, let's go within, listen, give her what she needs. And then you experience that healing on the physical level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. I think I saw you do a post recently about the functional medicine, the testing, the supplements, and I really resonated with it because my background is I'm a pharmacist, but I have gone through my own journey to really more like natural health. But it's almost like I think women have this concept or thought in their mind like, okay, I'm gonna step away from like the regular Western medicine. I'm gonna see a naturopathic doctor, or a functional medicine doctor, get all these tests, but they're different tests than like what my regular doctor would do. And then I'm going to take all these supplements, right? But it's really just, one supplement for one prescription medication. So kind of like, and I'm totally guilty of this myself, but it really is still looking like outside of yourself for that solution. And just speaking from like a personal experience of mine, I had actually done some energy work towards like stage fright, things like that, because I was going to a conference this spring, and I had a lot of ancestral trauma that was really causing that. And typically I will get cramps on my first day of my cycle. I did not have any cramping that next cycle after doing that like energetic release. Like I was like, what is happening? I wouldn't have even known that I had started my cycle. It was crazy. So it really does just go to show that there's just so much more at the energetic level that can be done.
Yeah, exactly. It's that old paradigm, and I'm seeing the old paradigm being, brought in, and of course it is, right? Because we live in a society where it's just, that's all we've been taught, that's all we've been programmed with. But, we have chiropractors and naturopaths who are bringing in that Western medicine, just treating, instead of a pill for every ill, we've heard this phrase, now it's it's a supplement for every symptom.
Yeah.
And so we're just bringing that old paradigm way of thinking into these complementary medicines.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's just, oh, let me go get my back adjusted. Let me go and get a treatment with my acupuncturist. There really needs to be this understanding within the practitioner level too, that there's more going on here. There's so much more context than just let me pop in for a quick treatment. Because ultimately what's going on here is, oh, I have a symptom. Let me go fix it with these other natural holistic modalities so I can get back to my really misaligned life.
Yeah.
Instead of, okay, this symptom is happening for me. Let's really get to the bottom. What is this trying to tell me? Because a lot of times the answers are going to be, slow down.
Mm-hmm.
You're in the wrong job. You're in the wrong relationship, right? Because now that we've done that deeper healing, you're no longer going to be in alignment to the boss who shits on you every single morning and keeps you there all weekend and, all of these different things. It's like, oh, I've just reclaimed a sense of my power and my sense of self-worth. I'm no longer tolerating this in my life. And now it's less like, it's not even a fit there. Now I have to go do this other thing. Like, oh, I'm going to go start my business or whatever it is. So that's just some other benefits of energy healing work. It's like once you upgrade the frequency of your energetic blueprint, your external world moves into alignment with that. We've heard of quantum leaps and, manifesting this and that. That's what's really happening. It's like we're not doing something in order to manifest something. We're doing the inner and shifting our frequency. And as a result, the physical 3D is just reorienting itself around us. That's another way of saying, like, what's going on with the physical spontaneous remission. It's that. Another way of saying this too is, our energetic blueprint isn't just this static blueprint, like an architectural blueprint of a building. It's actually this flow of vital life force energy. And when we get these little pockets of distortion of held trauma, you can think of like piling up rocks within a stream. Ooh, we got water pooling over here, then we got water rushing around over here. That's what's happening within our energetic field. So pooled, stagnant energy might be leading to these symptoms, and a lot of, rushing energy around here could result in a lot of, irritable, inflammatory symptoms over here. So it's just when we revitalize and rejuvenate that flow, that's that sense of wholeness that we're feeling of, oh, I'm no longer feeling broken anymore. Like I'm feeling completely embodied within my body. That's where that sense of wholeness comes from.
Yeah, I love that. This conversation has been amazing. I could probably talk to you for hours, but where could women go if they're interested in learning more about this modality and even becoming certified in it as well, if we have any practitioners watching?
Yes, yeah, and even, coaches, practitioners, and women who are really desiring to become their own self-healers, right, and really take this journey into their womb space, into their body. I invite you all, if you're really resonating with this message and you know that this is the next step for you. Embodied Womb Awakening is my 6-month certification for women self-healers, practitioners, and we are currently on early bird until August 31st, but doors open to this September cohort, September 13th. So if this is interesting for you and you're really resonating, I invite you to come over and take a look on my profile, and you can watch a masterclass and learn more about the modalities that you'll become embodied in. And what I really want to really want to differentiate between this certification and really anything else out there, and I mentioned this at the very beginning of our interview, is that you must experience your own awakening. You must be embodied in this journey yourself first before we can really show up and lead this movement, this movement of feminine awakening that's happening on this planet, right? Women coming back into their power, into their vitality, into their fertility. And so it's just as much a personal healing journey in parallel with I have the skills and the leadership to facilitate this powerfully for other women, whether it's in your own practice or you want to pivot within your business or you want to start something like this. The need is there, and women, like I mentioned, are looking for something deeper than let me just heal the symptoms. I want more. I want that wholeness. I want to connect with myself. I want to be that version of me that I know that I'm meant to be. And this certification will absolutely support you in that. And Katie is an affiliate, so definitely reach out through her if you're interested in signing up for this cohort. She has links to provide you as well. So yeah, I invite anyone to come over and ask me any questions as well.
Yes, I'm super excited for this training program. I think that it's just gonna, like I said in the beginning, create such a wider ripple effect. And I love that you really encourage, walking that path first yourself, and then you are just so much more well equipped to be able to serve and support and help women do the same for them, and then they can help younger generations or other women in their lives as well. So thank you so much, Stesha. This was really a beautiful conversation.
Thank you, my love. We'll chat soon.
Yes. Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Rising into Mindful Motherhood podcast. If this episode resonated with you or gave you an aha moment, stop what you're doing right now and write a review. This simple act of kindness helps me get this podcast out to connect with as many women as I possibly can. I also have a special offer. If you send me a screenshot of your review, I will take $250 off one of my premium coaching containers. Let me know what resonated with you the most and why. So connect with me in my free Facebook community or tag me on Instagram. You'll find both listed below. Thanks again from the bottom of my heart for tuning in to this episode, and I'll see you next time.